Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to get your brows done and little tips and tricks here and there on how you can grow out your brows if you are trying to grow them out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. This is a highly requested video, and if you want to learn on how to do your brows, then keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, I already have my primer and my foundation on. I always do that step first before I do, I'm just looking up because I'm trying to make sure I'm in focus because it looks like I'm going in and out of focus. But I do my foundation first, and then before I do my eyebrows. And then after I do that, I will go into my eyebrows, and I don't really take a lot of time doing my eyebrows. I kind of like a more natural look. I don't know, I just feel like it looks better with my face. I've tried all different kinds of looks, bold, thick, like, I don't know, like super carved out. For what I like and what I feel like looks best on my face is kind of like a more natural brow. So as you could tell, like my brows, I have, like, they're kind of full already, but what they are missing is just like a little arch on top, and then the tail just needs to be like darkened up just a little bit. I don't really like for the front to be like super bold, I guess. I like for my brows to kind of like, I guess, like have that faded look in the front. So I won't really do too much to the front, but I'll do something. I have you like super zoomed in so you can see exactly what I'm gonna do. I guess I can talk maybe a little bit about the history of my brows. My brows have always been kind of on the fuller side. I grow hair a lot. I guess you can say I'm a hairy person. But so yeah, growing my brows has never really been an issue. If growing hair for you in the brow area is an issue, I do recommend that you use castor oil, cold pressed organic castor oil. You can find that on Amazon. If I do find a very good one, I will link it below. Also, I've heard like rapid lash, like for your lashes, but you could use it on your brows. I've heard that's very good. Again, if I find something similar to that on Amazon, I will link it below. So yeah, growing out your brows, and then also try not to do them a lot because you're growing them out. When I was in brow rehab, as my eyebrow lady likes to say, I like when I first went to her, I hadn't done my brows in like maybe 3 months, so they kind of lost its shape, kind of looked like a mess. But I just did that because I wanted to get my brows to the shape that I wanted, to the desired shape that I wanted. So that's why I didn't do them for so long. If you want to grow your brows and want to reshape them, I suggest that you do that. Try maybe going 3 months, 4 months, as long as you think like not doing your brows, just so the hairs can grow back in, and then go to someone that specializes in brow shaping, so you can reshape your brows. Obviously, at first, your brows are not going to be how you want them to be. Like my lady, like what she does is she basically asked me what kind of shape that I wanted. My brows are 2 different types of shapes. She basically asked me, what shape do you want? Do you want like a more boxy? Do you want a fuller brow? Do you want a curvy brow? Like she basically asked me, what do you want, a straight brow? Like she basically asked me like, what kind of shape are you going for? And I kind of told her the shape that I was going for, and she started to basically map out my brows every time I went to her. Basically she was mapping out like the shape that I wanted, and she will remove with a tweezer like the unwanted brow hairs. Like obviously up here and like my unibrow, she does like wax, but when it comes to like shaping my brows, she will go in with a tweezer because it has more of like a controlled shape, like a controlled I don't know, like a controlled pulling of the hair, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, that's basically like what I did. I am not done with brow rehab, but I am pretty close. The only reason why I'm not done with that is because I have stubborn areas where my hair is like not growing. Like it's grown enough, but it's just not growing. And she did suggest organic cold pressed castor oil to grow my hair, but I am just so lazy that I have not done that. And plus I do my eyebrows anyways on not the daily basis, but I will do them quite often. So I don't really like, I don't know, I haven't bought it. So maybe after this video I will buy it. But as you could see, my brows, well, maybe you won't notice, but my brows are two different shapes. And I feel like this one has like the desired shape that I want, just not the thickness. And this one up here, it's just missing like, so yeah, it's just missing like the top area. Like I do have kind of a map of where to, I guess like shade in, but it is missing it. It's like very light. So that's what I normally do. I'll just dark it up. And then here I have a bald spot like there up top. So I will fill that in as well. And then this one I would just make thicker. This is always my easy brow. And this is the one that takes the most time. So let's get into this brow tutorial. I'm sure you guys are tired and done with me talking. So let's just get right into it. So the first thing that I will do when doing my brows is I will use the Glossier Boy Brow, and I use the shade Brown/Brunette. I just do this to kind of make my hairs a little bit lighter, although it doesn't really like, I don't know, it doesn't make that much of a difference, but it does do something. And also it fills in like the areas that they kind of need some fill in, but not really. So it just fills in like whatever, I guess like in the middle of my brows, so I don't have to go through that with powder or whatever. So, and I haven't done my brows in like maybe a month, so bear with me. So then I do that brow. And also I like that this kind of makes your brows, like obviously it's a brow gel, but just a tinted brow gel. So it makes your brows nice and stiff. So when I do my brows, it's kind of a lot easier to fill in the areas that need to be filled in because the hairs are like already put in place and stiff. So I will just like, basically I'm just combing in the product and shaping my hairs already that I have. Then the next thing that I would use is the, I have the Brow Pro palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I do have this because I do freelance and I do have clients with different skin tones, different hair, different brow hair. So that's why I have this. I'm not saying that you need to go get this because it is kind of pricey, but that's just what I use on myself, and that's just what I use because I have it in my kit. But if you do have like, obviously Anastasia, the brow palette is, not the brow palette, but like the individuals are good. I did have for a while, I probably do have it in my kit. I have the individuals, but lately I've just been using this because I kind of used to use a mix of colors, but now I just use like one set of color. And the color that I use is like in the chocolate. It would be nice if you could see. The color that I use is in the chocolate family, and I like to use the darker one, and then for the front of my brow I will use a mix of the lighter one. When I was growing out my brows and I had a lot of more sparser areas, I would use ebony, like the darker shade, and then the lighter shade for the front. But I kind of changed like my idea of my brows, and I kind of like my brows to be a little bit lighter, a little bit more natural, and I don't really need that much filling in, so I will use the chocolate darker shade, this one right here. So, and then I just use like this brow brush. It's an angled brush. This is from the Brow Gal by Tony Crooks. I actually got this in a boxy charm, and I've never stopped using it ever since I received it. One side has a spoolie, which is really nice, and then the other side is just an angle brush. I like this one because I do have an angled one from Anastasia. I just feel like that one isn't as thin as this one, so it doesn't give like you precise lines, but you could use whichever one floats your boat. So what I do is I barely, like I'm starting here because I do have some sparse areas. So I will do that, and then like the leftovers, I would just flick it up like that, kind of get like, I don't want too much powder in the front because I kind of like it to fade out. So I'm just picking up, and once I feel like there's no more product on the brush, I'm just filling in. Basically, all I do is I really just create an arch on my brow because that's what I'm lacking in. I don't really mess around with the bottom because, I don't know, I feel like it's pretty filled in for me. So I will do up top here. So all I'm doing is I'm basically just darkening up the arch that I have. I do have some hair in the arch, so I kind of have like a map or a guideline, but that's pretty much all I do. And then when it comes to the tail, I like to brush it. Brushing while you do your brows is extremely important, simply because your hairs kind of get out of whack. And even, yes, I did put the boy brow on my brows, kind of acting as a gel for my hair, but let's be honest, it's not like glue. It's still gonna move, it just won't move as much. So I got that, and I'm still doing the tail because my tail is a little bit light. So I basically just mess with the top, and then I'll go down here because I have like not a straight line, and yeah, pretty much that's it. And then I'll get the leftover again, just comb it up like that. So I basically start like here or in the middle of my brow. You never really want to start, unless if you do like a bold brow, then I guess so, but you never really want to start like in the front because that's where you're going to get the most concentrated product. And I mean, I don't like a bold like Sharpie brow, but if you do like that look, which is, it is the end look now, I guess, then by all means, go for it. It's pretty much just like personal preference, like what you like. So this one is like the tricky one. Like you're gonna see it's gonna go from like to like super nice. And then also what I like to do is, like, it may look, I like to use a small mirror, and it may look good here, but then when you look in a further mirror or when I take pictures, I used to notice that like it would only be slightly filled in, and then I'm like in the mirror it looks super filled in, but I guess from far away it wouldn't. So I have a mirror down here, like literally right there, so I can look to see the shape of the brow. I'm looking in the camera to see how I like the shape of the brow, and also I have this as a guideline for detail. So you just kind of want to look at yourself in angles and make sure that your brow is good and all that stuff. So I'm telling you, this one really needs some love. Like I do have some sparse hairs down here as well, so I'll touch that up. And you kind of want to do like how I'm like just flicking it, so it's kind of like hair-like strokes. It's not like harsh lines. I do have a bald spot there, so I'll pick up some product and I will create a straight line. Oh, fill it in again, so it's like that, and then I will put the excess here and flick up. I used to put my brush like vertical and do like that to do hair like strokes, but I feel like it's too harsh, so I just put it horizontal and I'll just like flick it up, which I feel like it gives it a more faded look. And then I'm just gonna do the tail a little bit again, but that's pretty much like my brow. It's pretty much how I do it. And of course, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I can't tell you how many times I've posted selfies on Instagram where I look back now and I'm like, whoa, why didn't anybody tell me that my brows were effed up? So just saying. So now that I have that, I will go back in with the boy brow. It's not really necessary, but I'm just doing this extra step. If I'm in a hurry, honestly, I won't do this. But if I have time, like today, I will. I run the boy brow gel through my brows again. And so next what I do is I carve out my brows. Just on the bottom to kind of give it a more cleaner look. Also, if you haven't done your brows in a while, it will clean up the hairs, like the sparse hairs at the bottom that need to be plucked or waxed or whatever. So that's a really good trick if you haven't done, let's say you're trying to grow out your eyebrows and you haven't done it in a month or so. Just use some concealer at the bottom with a concealer brush and it'll clean it right up. You'll still see it, but that's if like someone's like right here, which I hope nobody is like right there to you, unless if it's your boyfriend, your loved one, whatever. But from far away, you won't really see it. The concealer will hide it. I am using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. You can use any concealer of your choice. And then I use a concealer brush. I've heard that concealer brushes with like a flat edge are easier to carve out your brows, but I just use a rounded edge. I mean, I've always used this, so I guess I'm used to it. But if you find a concealer brush with like a flat edge, maybe it might be easier. So I will first like just get the excess and put it on my eyebrow, because on my lid, because either way we are going to put that all over the lid anyways to prime the lid. And then I'm just like literally drawing like following the shape of my brow. So that's pretty much it. People that usually like they'll do it at the bottom, they'll carve out the top and the sides and all that, but again, I like a natural brow and I feel like this gives me like the most natural look, so I will skip the chop. But by all means, if you like that, go for it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just blending it out, and now you have a nice brow, carved out brow, and a primed lid, which then after you could, which I'm gonna set it and then do any makeup you want, or you can just leave as is if you're going for an everyday look. Again, I got the concealer brush, just gonna dab the excess here like that, and then so then pretty much after that, I would just go in with my NYX No Filter finishing powder with a powder brush, and I will just set, obviously remove the creasing off your brows, off your lids. And I would just go ahead and set my lids so that way if like the concealer doesn't crease or anything, and it stays put. Now, if you accidentally, let's say you used the concealer and you accidentally like wiped off some of the like your fill-in, I go back in. I don't use any products, but I will go back in and just lightly, like right here, I feel like I took away some of the eyebrows. And I will just go in and like just basically touch it up. I feel like that's good. Yep. Just maybe need. And you got yourself some good brows. So I obviously went a little bit overboard and I went and did my face. After I did my brows, I got a little bit inspired with the cold weather outside. It's only like 70 degrees here in Miami, but I got a little bit fall inspired, so I went ahead and I did my full-blown makeup. But anyways, that's pretty much all that I have for today. If you guys like this video, as always, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from moi, please hit that subscribe button. and I guess I will see you next time. Bye.